It's taken me a while, but I think now is the time I cover an overrated games list. I mean, I've already talked about overrated Pokemon, so why not do games?
Mine.
Ow! What the hell?
This is my commentary material, Wave. Back off.
No way! This is mine!
No, it's mine.
Person who wants to do a club says what?
What?
Great! Let's do it.
Hey, wait a sec.
Now, a little disclaimer. This list, by no means, these games are bad. Overrated does not mean bad. Overrated means they've been bloated by legend or myth or sales. They're just over bloated through a cultural lens. Not that they're bad. Most of these games aren't bad. Actually, all these games aren't bad. Some might be more mediocre than others, to me, but none of these games are bad. They're just overrated. To me, my opinion. Deals. Alright.
Holy shit! Someone actually used a decent definition of the term overrated? Hallelujah!
Too bad it kinda got ruined by his clear lack of a script.
Had to be a buzzkill, didn't ya?
Anyways, while there are some people who can do well without a script, that's usually because they are good at improv. But here, not so much. Your awkward pauses and stumbling with words make this video come off as unprofessional and sloppy.
Also doesn't help that this lack of a script / notes about why he thinks these games are overrated will end up hurting a lot of his arguments as the video goes on.
Alright, first up, number 10 is going to be the Batman Arkham series. The entire. Now, I did like the first game, Arkham Asylum. Fantastic. Basically threw together a 3D action-adventure Metroidvania, but you're the Batman. It's a Batman simulator through the lens of Metroidvania. Absolutely fantastic. It was kind of revolutionary at the time, but then the sequel came out, Arkham Knight, and it kind of blew up from there. From that point on, they kind of went, instead of a Metroidvania Batman, they kind of went to like a GTA Batman, where the world got bigger, more expansive, and it just wasn't my bag, baby. I just couldn't get into it. Everyone else did, but I just couldn't see the appeal. It was just, they're great games. They're great games. I even played a little bit of the newest one. They're all great looking games. They all play really great, but they're a little overrated to me. That's why they're number 10 on my list of most overrated games ever.
That's it? That's all you had to say about it?
Pretty much.
No elaboration, hardly any reasons why you thought the Arkham series was overrated. This is what we meant by how not using a script / notes can hurt your arguments, folks.
Also, gotta love his slip-ups and not editing them out.
Oh, lovely. Doing videos in one take. My favorite.
And now that we have shown you the recurring issue with this video, we can now skip to the juicy bits.
Juicy bits? We have like 2 other points to make, and BossKeyTV's video is about as dry as the Sahara.
Next up is number 4. Motherfucker Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Oh my god, Conker's Bad Fur Day is so hilarious. He's this dirty little squirrel, and he goes around and he makes fart jokes and dick jokes. Oh look, they're parodying the Matrix.
I don't. This is one game out of my list I don't see the appeal. I just don't. I don't know how people can pay $120, $150 for this game. It's mind-boggling. And it's not a bad game. I played a little bit of it. It's a rare game. It plays well enough. It plays well. It's just, I do not understand the expensive price tag on this thing. It's crazy. The only cultural relevance that this game has is the fact that it's probably the only rated M game on the Nintendo 64. That's its claim to fame. Ooh, M rating. Still not interested. Not interested. Definitely number 4 on my top overrated games of all time.
So, at number 4, you use even less reasons as to why you think a game is overrated.
First off, what does cultural relevance have to do with the game itself? It has no effect on the gameplay, the music, etc. The only thing I could see related to this is the comedy in the game, but that's still only one part of the game, and even then, you just brought up the rating of the game.
Plus, in your Ocarina of Time segment, which we skipped, you brought up how the graphics were outdated, the controls, etc. But here, you don't even bring any of those up, and I don't get why. Both came out on the same system, both used almost similar art styles, and you could have argued that the comedy was dated even for the time. You could have had a good argument here. Also, the reason why the game is expensive nowadays is because A, the game came out in the same year as the GameCube. As such, the big-name game stores were shelving previous generation games to make way for the next console generation games, which means that not many of these cartridges were sold. And B, the ones that go for $120 are usually that expensive because you are essentially purchasing the entire thing. The box, instructions, cartridge, etc. Remember, this is essentially a rare game. Unless you're dealing with an asshole reseller, or anyone on eBay frankly, the cartridge should usually cost you about half the price. This is also ignoring the fact that this has almost nothing to do with the game itself. That is an outside factor in this. What's his arguments on Final Fantasy VII, Fawn?
Well, aside from him saying he loved the game in the beginning and then saying it's not too great later on in the video, there's this.
It still has a lot of pacing flaws.
Such as... Oh, right. No examples. Well, here's one to counter it. Red 13's character arc in Disc 1. He hates his dad, we find out his reason why early on, we then reach Cosmo Canyon a few hours later into the game, and then we find out the truth after going through that cave, and Red 13 has an emotional moment combined with a great peace before moving forward with his life after that scene. Anyways, next point.
Well, he also brings up translation issues.
Meh, a few games had those issues back in the 90s, and you know what, I kind of see that as a good reason. However, I think we're going to cut the video off here. His last couple entries either have similar issues as the ones we brought up earlier, or we didn't have much to say about them.
Okay, final thoughts? To be honest,
No.
Did you just cut me off?
Yeah, I did. Final thoughts are worthless.
You do not cut me off! You are so dead!
Oh, bring it, bitch.